The biting wind whipped around me, each gust a fresh stab of pain. My leg throbbed, a dull ache that threatened to blossom into something far worse. A fiery inferno of agony. I'd taken a bad tumble, a misstep that had cost me dearly. And now, here I was, trapped in a shadowed alley. The remnants of a skirmish scattered around me like macabre confetti. Panic clawed at the edges of my resolve. Getting caught here was the last thing I needed. I was so vulnerable, so exposed. Every shadow seemed to hold a threat, every distant footstep a potential danger. A harbinger of more suffering. I tried to stand, but a wave of nausea and pain slammed into me. I sank back down, the cold stone seeping into my already chilled bones, chilling me to the very core. Then, I heard the heavy tread of boots on the cobblestones, the rhythmic thump. A death knell in my ears. Guards. My heart hammered against my ribs. A frantic drumbeat against the impending doom. I closed my eyes, bracing myself for the inevitable. The shouts grew closer, the harsh cadence of their voices sending shivers down my spine. Then faded, receding into the distance. I risked a peek, cautiously opening one eye. Two guards strode past the mouth of the alley, their faces grim, their voices low as they exchanged brief words. They were gone, their forms disappearing into the gloom. Relief washed over me, a fragile shield against the fear, a temporary reprieve from the agonizing pain. But the pain remained, a constant reminder of my precarious situation, a persistent whisper of the danger I was in. I lay there, shivering uncontrollably, when I saw movement. A figure, silhouetted against the dim light filtering into the alley. A spectral form in the gloom. A guard. My breath hitched in my throat. He was alone, isolated from his fellows. He paused, looking around, his helmet casting a deep, inscrutable shadow over his face, obscuring his expression, making it impossible to read his intentions. My muscles tensed, ready to spring into action, to fight, to flee, to do whatever it took to survive. But then, he did something unexpected, something that defied all my expectations, all the harsh realities I had come to accept. He reached down and placed something near me, a silent offering in the face of my desperation. He looked around again, his movements quick and furtive, a desperate plea for discretion, and then swiftly walked away, disappearing back into the shadows from which he had emerged. I couldn't believe my eyes. A first aid kit. It was small, battered, bearing the scars of countless battles, but undeniably a first aid kit, a beacon of hope in the desolate landscape of my despair. A sliver of hope, a tiny spark of warmth, flickered within me, defying the cold that had settled in my bones. I fumbled for it, my hands clumsy with pain and shock, my fingers trembling. As I reached for this lifeline, inside were bandages, pristine white strips of cloth that promised relief, antiseptic wipes, promising to cleanse and heal, in a small vial of something that might dull the pain, a potential escape from my torment. As I began to tend to my wounds, a new thought slowly began to form, a fragile seedling taking root in the barren soil of my cynicism. Maybe not all guards were monsters. Maybe there was more than I had thought. His actions didn't erase the past, the memories of brutality. I still knew the guards I had fought against, the ones who had brought me to this situation, the ones who embodied the cruelty of this world. But this guard, this act of quiet kindness in the shadows, a gesture performed with no expectation of reward, challenged everything I thought I knew. It was a crack in the armor, a glimmer of something more. Maybe there was another side to the story, another layer to the world I thought I understood, a hidden realm of compassion. As I carefully bandaged my leg, I couldn't help but wonder about the man behind the helmet. The face hidden from my view. Who was he? What motivated him to act in such a way? Why did he help me, an enemy? And what did it mean for the future, for the constant conflict that defined my life? All I knew was that in the heart of the darkness, I had found a flicker of light, a fragile ember of hope that refused to be extinguished.